tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can really set your printout settings so that you can get the exact printout from a large data set like this. So the data set that I have here is a list of schools, and if you look at this data set, I have about 750 or 749 records, right? So I'll just remove this for a while. Okay, so I'll just remove this, delete this part. So I'm going to have 745 records, and which is a big number. And then you have these provinces, or not provinces, but you have 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 columns. Okay, so 10 columns and 749 records. So when you want to print this data, I go to print, and I want to print this data. So when I look at it, my page setting is saying that it's about 36 pages, and my paper setting is at A4, but because of that, and it's at orientation, it's not going to accommodate all the data that is data columns. Okay, so it's only giving me the school code, school name, sector, and province. Okay, so if I want to get the others, then Excel has split it into several columns. Okay, so a problem when you go to file and print, and you see that you go to page 2, you get the same columns, but it's split. If I go to reset this to landscape, yeah, I'm getting something from there, but I'm not getting the other data, such as the payment, money paid, branch, and all these other columns. Okay, so this is the main issue with, not issue, but main thing with dealing with Excel when you are trying to set your print preview or print setting. It is very important, because it's not like Word. In Microsoft Word or PowerPoint, everything you put on the screen or slide or the document screen is visible straight away as a print preview. But in Excel, because you deal with a lot of columns, you really need to know how to get around and print the data that you need. Okay, so that's the most important thing. So if you are in a position not to analyze the data, but just to get a printout of a long list like this, then this tutorial will help you do that. So first thing, I'll set back to orientation. Okay, and then portrait orientation, so that it fits. My paper setting is at A4. Now my problem is this one. First problem is when I go to the first page, which is page 1 of 36, I see the column heading. Okay, school code, school name, sector, and province. But when you go to the second page, you won't see the column heading. Okay, that's a common thing in Excel. The reason is because if you look at this one, there's no other heading. Okay, there's no other heading apart from the first row. That's the only heading it has. So once that is shown on the first page, the rest is all data. So Excel is not wrong in that sense. Okay, so Excel is saying is that's the only row heading, so it appears on the first, and then rest of them are just a record on the actual data. So but for any person who is reading this printout, we need to tell them what row it means. Okay, so this means, is it a school code, this is the school, this is the district, etc., like this. So the row, we want the row to repeat on all pages. That's the first thing we're going to set. Okay, now the second thing is, when we print like this one, there's no header here. Okay, set the header in Excel and say, okay, include a page like in here, and then I'm going to add, say, this header here, which most people would do, and say, okay, this is going to be schools in Southern Islands, enrollment by district. Okay, so that's my title. I can make it big. Okay, big. So if that's the title, and if I go back to my print preview, yes, the title appears nicely, but when it goes to second page, it disappears. That's the same thing. Okay, that's the issue. So Excel does not want us to put anything apart from the first row as the column heading. That's all. So that's a very important point you have to remember. So anything you put in this here, it's not going to print. So if it's just like, okay, maybe 3 or 4 list of, like 1-page list, yes, you can put it. But if it's a long list like this, then this is not the way to do it. So there should be no extra column headings of anything at the top of the page, because that is, you are messing up your data. Okay, even when you want to analyze the data, it doesn't work. So please, when you attempted to put the header, remove it. Don't. So I'll delete this one. So the only column or only row that should have the column names is the first row. That's all. Okay, the rest should be data. So when you come down to your print, okay, you need a header at the top. So we'll insert the page header there. And the third problem we're going to fix is, at the bottom we need to have the page. So this one is 36 page, but it's not telling us whether it's page 1 or page 2 or page 3. So we need to put a page there. So those are the things that we will sort out. And then we want to split the data by district. Okay, so that we can distribute this list to each of the districts. Let's just imagine that. Okay, so I go back to my data, and first thing I want to do is I want to think about what data I would like to print from this. Okay, that's the first thing I want to specify. So in this column that I need is, I don't need the sector, I don't need the province. So I'll select both of them and right mouse click and hide. So I'm hiding those two columns. I don't need the account number, I don't need the bank and this tree, so I'll hide it, right? And I don't need the amount for a while, so I'll hide it. Okay, so all I need is, I want the school code, school name, district, and enrollment, student enrollment for that school. Okay, and the district. Now the thing that we also, to make sure that we want our district to be in alphabetical orders. The reason why we want to do that is because we make sure your column that you want to deal with is in alphabetical order. Okay, so we right mouse click and then come down to sort and sort A to B or A to Z or Z to A, whichever way you prefer. Okay, so in most cases you will say A to Z, so it's in alphabetical order. This is very important, okay, because when we want to split the data printout, we want to split it by district, so the data is in sequence and it follows each of the district. Okay, so that's why Yalibu Pankia comes in, and then Embagu, and then after Embagu is Kagwa RFN, and then it will follow like that. That's the first. That's the other step. Now, when I hide the column, I didn't actually hide all my data. Okay, I can always select all, go to this corner here, select all corner there, right click on any from any column, and I can unhide, so I can get the columns back. 4 columns to deal with, and if you go to file, print, you will see that your 4 columns are in order. Okay, if you see that your certain margin is like this one is too far, then you can decrease the margin. Okay, so you enable the margin here, you can show margin. Default it will be like this, but if you select the show margin sign, it will give you the margin, so you can adjust the margins as you prefer, so you can see the different margins, so you can move around, especially the side margins and the column. So if you want to increase this column a bit, you can push it a bit like that, but then other column is coming in, so we'll just leave it there. Okay, so now my I'm okay with the column selection. So next thing I need to do is I need to insert my page number, or the page number plus the heading. So I go and page layout. Okay, page layout and print titles. Okay, so I go here and I'm going to go to header and footer, custom header, and I'm going to come to the center and I'm going to put my heading in. So schools, student enrollment by schools in the districts in Southern Islands province. Okay, so and then I put the year 2024, whatever the title that you want to put for your printout. So I'm going to select that, select the font, and I'm going to make it bold, and I'm going to go for 14, and I'm going to underline single or double. Okay, I'll put the single, and if you want to color it whatever color, blue or green, I'll just make it blue, but default is black. But if you have a color printer and you want to color it, you can, but we'll leave it at default or automatic, and click OK. So now if you click OK, and if you go to print preview, you will see that our header has come in, and if I select the next page, you will see that the header is there. So it is now telling the person reading the printout that this document is this. Okay, so you have to put that header, so that in each of the pages you will have the page header at the top, or the heading for the data, which is very important. Now the next piece of information that is missing is the page number. So you go back, and then we're going to go to page layout again, print titles, header and footer, custom footer, and now I'm going to put the page number in the middle. So the page numbers are here, so I can put the page, and that's the page number, and then you have the number of pages. Okay, so if I click OK and print preview, you will see that in here it says 118. Okay, you can see 118 there, just a 3-digit figure. Why? Because the first one shows the page, and second is the total pages. which is a little bit confusing. Okay, so we don't want that, so we go back to our print title, header and footer, custom footer, and literally in the front you have to put in page. Okay, page, and then you put space, and then after the space you put this page, and then before the page you put in off. Okay, page off, page, this page off, page 1 off. Okay, so you put the title in off, that's the trick. And then at the end you put pages. Okay, so it looks funny here, okay, but I'm typing in page off and pages, and I let Excel insert the page number and the total pages. So that looks set. I go back, click OK, and print preview. Now you will see at the bottom it says page 1 of 18 pages, and that is more meaningful to the reader or the person who is getting the printout than just having 118 close to each other. So that's a trick to get around it. Okay, so be mindful of that. So once okay, so now my page is in, page number is in, and my heading is in. So now I'm going to split the data. So what I mean by split by data is like this. Okay, when you look at Pangea Yalibu all the way, okay, that's good. Now you go to second page, third page, and then at sometimes you will see that your part of the other district will also mix up with the another district. So that is why you need to make sure that each of the district data remains on the district page. Okay, so you go to view and then page break. So when you have a page break, you'll see the blue line there, and now I can see that this is okay, this is okay, and when I go to the, sometimes it will look like this. Okay, that if it looks like this, the page break is here, and you will see that when Pangea Yalibu Pangea stops, then part of that information is now going to become also included in the Embargo part of it. So that's why we want to split it, and make sure you check the page break. And this time I'm going to push it down, and Embargo must start on its own page. So make sure you do that. You look through the data, and see here is also one more thing. So if you look at Embargo, and then this is a short page, and now because this cargo RFA is starting on, I put a break in here. Okay, so I put insert a break, and you can cut, insert and cut. Okay, so if I go back and reset all, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Reset all page break. Okay, so now let's see. So if you look at this setting here, you will see that Embargo Yalibu Pangea is okay, down, and then you will see this one here. So this is a small set of Yalibu Pangea is becoming part of, it's going to print out together with the Embargo here. We don't want that. We want all data for Congo RFA to be Embargo to start on its own, so we can put a page break here. So you click in here, just click where it is, and then you put insert page break. So now I'm cutting. What I'm doing is I'm letting, even though this is small data, but because it's Pangea, I want Embargo to start on its own page. Okay, so that's why even though this is small, but it's okay because it's part of on page part of Yalibu, so I leave it that, so I'm cutting it. So you do that, and whenever you see that you have, so you can see here we have Mogo Komo Magarima. There's about 3 of them, so I'm going to split that as well. So insert, split by inserting a page break, and now I'm going to split here, and I'm going to put page break here, and I'm splitting the Komo Magarima, and this one is only one, it's for Koroba Kobago. So I'll right mouse click, and I'm going to put a page break to split it. Okay, so I'll put one page break here, and now what I'm doing is, even though Koroba Kobago is only one, I want it to appear on its own page. I don't want to appear bundle it together with Komo Magarima, the same as Komo Magarima. There's 3 schools there, but I want them to appear on their separate page. So that's how you split your data, and the rest of it is okay. In here you see that it's Mendy, so I'm pull it down to make sure that this part of these schools are included in the Mendy Munu district. And then, okay, so now we are set. Now you go back to our data set, print, and then you'll see that there's 17 pages, and page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5, page 6, page 7, and when I go to page 8 here, 10 here, this is the only 3 for 11, 9 is for Cargo Aerope, and then 10, I put these 3 because they are for Komo Magarima. Okay, so that's how you set. If you look at Komo Magarima, you will see that I've separated it, rest, and now they are appearing on their own. So that's what I say, like this one here, Koroba is appearing on its own, and that's what I mean when you go back to your page break and you set your page break accordingly. Now our final requirement for now is, I'll go back to normal, and the final requirement is when we go to, you see that on the first page the school code and the school name and district and payment is appearing, but it's not appearing on the second page and third page. So we go back to our normal view, go to page layout, print titles, and then you set the rows to repeat. So I put the rows to repeat, and then I select. Okay, so I'll scroll this up, and now the row to repeat is row 1. So I select row 1. That's all I need to do. I click OK, and now if I go back to my print preview, and you will see that on page 1 it's appearing, page 2 it's appearing, page 3 it's appearing, and now you see the heading is all through, and at the bottom you have the pages all through. So if I go to the next page, page 10, you'll see that even though this is 3 for Komo Magarima, you will see that the school code, school name, and district and amount is also appearing. So I think that's all, and then you can also put, like, specify this as a currency ohm and number format currency, and now it looks ready to print. So now these are the figures, and you can see the distribution of each of the districts, schools, and the payout for each school by each district. This is how you split your data by putting page break, and page break is available under page view, page break. And what we see normally is this normal, but you put the page break and you put your page break to see how the printer will come out. That's number one. And when you want to put your headings and your page numbers, you go to layout, page layout, print titles, header and footer, custom header, you put your custom heading there, and custom footer, you put your page number and total number of pages. If you want to insert the date and the time as well, you can do so. And you can even increase the font, whatever the font size you want to bold it or increase the font size, that's okay too. And you click OK. And the other thing is, if you want the column headings to, or not column headings, but the column headings to repeat on each page, go to print and then set rows to repeat at top, and you check the row, select the row, and then click row 1, and then rows to repeat, and then click OK. And now you can see that when you go to print, you will see your page, the column headings repeat, and finally you can print. So you can set the copies, number of copies you want to print, and select a printer from the printer list, and you print. And if you want to include more columns, then you can specify to either landscape, orientation, portrait. Because for me it's only 4 columns, so I leave it as portrait, and then I can print. So that is how you specify your and also one more thing, you check the show margins. It will be like this. You click the margin and then you specify your margins just to make sure that your margins are in order. And if there is one column moving, you can pull it in by extending the margins and make sure it comes in, and then you can print. So page header, page numbering, column header, I showed you how to do it, set those things, and then also you learn how to split the data into pages, respective pages, by going to view and setting the page break. I hope this video is useful, and if you find the tutorials on this channel interesting or helpful to you, please subscribe so that next time I post, you will get the notification bell or the notice on your YouTube viewing account.